Hey, welcome back. I just wanted to do a final video for Horus Heresy for a little bit before I finish up my vampire counts as far as I plan to take them in the near future, and also to give me a chance to start prepping these models. There's a few things left to do. Excuse me. I need to 3D print some shoulder pads for a couple of units, and I need to finish building some Legionnaires and give them melt-a-guns, and one more Rhino, but pretty much where I'm at now, this is the majority of the army minus those 20 Legionnaires. And the goal of this video, the plan, is to just basically go over everything I have here that I've built or brought out of storage and plan to clean up, so I can talk about what my painting plan is for this. So I do have to move the camera around quite a bit this time just because I cannot get everything in frame. So starting off, I have the Praetor and the 20 Legionnaires for the Marine Tactical Squad, Legionnaire Tactical Squad, whatever it's called now. And as I've said, the Praetor kits are great. This guy here was perfect for Night Lords just because of the big axe and, you know, the chainmail hanging off him I thought was pretty perfect. And this thing here, I mean, this coat rack for skulls, just knock off the Aquila and pretty much good to go. I think I might do something with the cape still. I'm not sure what. Maybe like try to make it patchwork, like it's sewn together human skin. I don't know. I don't know if I can pull that one off. I'm going to see. But yeah, really like the Praetors. And I love the Mark 6 Legionnaires. They are super fun to put together, other than the shoulder pad. I did not like that. But they look great, with or without the 3D printed helmets. I think they're a really nice kit, and they bring a lot of cool, you know, just like energy to the army. I really think that they look a lot better than the Mark 4s and probably the Mark 3s, which I've never seen in person, but if they're like the Mark 4s, the Mark 6s are a lot better. Behind them, I do have the Spartan, which I kind of set up here as in the idea that I guess it could be their transport, where it does hold so many men. But just in general, this is just a great piece to have, I think, for the anti-tank ability of 5 twin-link las cannons. I'm not sure if it's, you know, where it sits on the power level of Horus Heresy tanks for that price range, but I would feel like, you know, for what it does as a transport and anti-tank, it's definitely got to be one of the more powerful choices. I mean, I've seen other things in there, but they cost a lot more, or they don't carry troops, which means they're much more dedicated to one role. This is pretty cool, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Land Raiders, but I do like that this one here, they really added a lot of firepower to it, which I always felt was sort of the downside to Land Raiders. They're a really good transport, but they don't hold a lot of men, and they have good anti-tank or good anti-infantry, depending what weapons you put on it, but not that much at the same time. This thing here is like more than double the transport capacity of a Land Raider in 40k, and more than double the firepower. So, if you go anti-tank, or really anything, I mean, this is a really strong unit, I think. But next to that, I have the Kratos. Again, a great anti-tank, but also anti-infantry with that cannon. I think this thing here has a really strong, like a central position in my army in terms of its firepower. I'm a treadhead, so that was always going to be something I wanted a lot of, were tanks. But this one not only is a strong tank, but it looks cool. Everything about this, the silhouette, is super nice and really kind of unique as somebody who's coming from 40k with no real 30k experience. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy the look of it, and I enjoy the idea of the firepower it's going to add again. So having this tank, as much as I said in the review, I don't think it's worth the money as far as buying a model goes. I think that if you can afford it and you like the look of it, at least for that purpose, it's worth it. Carrying on, my Assault Marines slash Night Raptors, I do have the official Forge World models still. They're not shown here because they need a lot of work. They did not survive a move that I made, unfortunately. Once I've looked at them closely, there's a lot of stuff I got to pin and put back together, but I'll get to them. But for now, I think once I take a Dremel to these with a sort of like a grinding, buffing head, I should be able to really smooth out the options, not the options, sorry, but the panels, and get them looking more in line with the other Horus Heresy stuff. So that's probably going to be enough, I think, to really make these guys stand out as a Night Lords unit, but still match the theme of Heresy. Over here are 5 of the Cataphracti Terminators, minus shoulder pads. They're missing their right shoulder pad because I do have to print some for my Night Lords theme, but that's coming in the next couple of days. I'll get my printer running again and do that. And also I have a Cataphracti Praetor with them. For him, all I did was just toss on a Night Lord's helmet that I cut down to fit, and I figured that would be enough for him. He's from the Calth box, which I don't find are as detailed as the models that were in the new box set, so I'm going to more focus on paint and extra details I attach after to really bring him to life. And I have like 10 more of those. The whole set of sprues from the new box set, I haven't built them yet, so there will be 15 of these guys in total. And they're going to be flying around probably in one of these. This is one of my Storm Eagles, and I'm going to have a video that I'll probably do later. It'll be probably my actual last Horus Heresy video, now that I've shown this off. Just talking about this model. I got this as a gift, and when I got it, it definitely had a lot of problems, and I ended up sending a bunch of pictures to Games Workshop, Forge World, basically saying like, hey, this thing's a mess, and I'm not like new to Forge World. I had already bought like a dozen tanks at that point at least. I was used to the kind of mess their kits were, but this thing was special, and I've heard that from a lot of people. So they sent me another one for free, which was nice, but it was literally the exact same problem, so it's still in the bag, and I think I'm going to try to really give that thing a good go and see if I can put one together that doesn't have a bunch of gap issues that I've got to work around. But if I do that, I'll make a whole video series out of putting one of those together so people can see the process. It's a little bit wild how much work I had to do to put this together, so doing it again, it's going to be something. Behind them, I've got my 2 contemptors. On the left is the one from Calth, and on the right is the new one. I'm going to probably just run the new one, but having them both painted up just to have options is part of the plan long term. And I think they're both nice, but the new one is much better in terms of posability and just as much as the old one had more sculpted details, I prefer it blank. I can do a lot more with a blank than I can with one that seems to be sculpted for, like, you know, Ultramarines or whatever. And finally, I've got 2 units of essentially Terror Squad troops. That's what they're built as, using the Mark IVs from the Calth box. These guys are going to run as either veterans or Terror Squad. I'm not sure which. Probably both, to be honest. And they're going to be inside Rhinos. Only one is built right now, but I'll get to the other one. And these guys here are also pretty neat, but they're not as nice a kit as the new Mark 6s. They're much closer to the old tactical squads. And that's really all I want to say. I don't want to keep this dragging on. I just want to go through each unit. You've seen them all before, and hopefully this is inspiration for everybody to get their stuff together and start painting. So if you have any thoughts or comments, leave them down below, and as always, have yourselves a great day.